Hello everyone, let's welcome you to the James Rich Show. Our first stream is going to be about the great Euro final. Finally, it looks like in 55 years, it's finally going to come home. Now England this time round have been, they've been positive. They've played attacking football. We've played great football. We deserve to be in the final, and to be fair, so do Italy. Italy have also been the other standout team. It's going to be a good final. England, Italy, probably going to be cagey in the first half, but I tell you what, there's nothing better than an early goal, just like when we played Ukraine. Just to settle the nerves. When you're nervous before a game, just 2 minutes in, 1-0 up. There's nothing better, right? Nothing better than 1-0 up. Straight away, just put the nerves away. That's what we need, but the Italian defence, they're no mugs. Their goalkeeper looks like he's going to win young player of the tournament, and we definitely don't want penalties because that Donnarumma is going to go. He's an amazing penalty saver. He's an amazing penalty saver. So we don't want that, and obviously we're England as well. So penalties, no. Worst comes to worst, we'll take extra time. But let's think, how have England done in this tournament? Like, we did start off very slowly, very sluggish, very lethargic. Typical England, when we had the best England side with Lampard, Gerrard, Terry, Ferdinand, Rooney, Owen. Back then, when you expected us to do so much, but we done so little. But the first game we won. We won against Croatia 1-0. It seems so long ago now. But Sterling got that scruffy goal in, but they all count. But it wasn't a good performance. But we got the 3 points. We as you can tell, when we're in the final, it seems as if how we played in the group stages was good tournament football. We didn't start off very well. We didn't start off like a house on fire, but we got the results. So we beat Croatia 1-0. Croatia, I thought, were a poor side. What they were when they beat us last time in the World Cup in 2018. They had a much younger midfield. I mean, their midfield is still very good, but they missed a lot of. I think they missed some of their strikers, like Mandzukic last time caused us problems, but this time they didn't really have any strikers, so we got through them pretty easily. And then Scotland. It was nice to see Scotland at the Euros. I don't think we've seen Scotland at a major tournament since the 90s. So yeah, I mean, as obviously I'm English, but as UK, I'm happy that they were there. And I think for all you Scottish fans out there, I think that the DVD is coming out for you of the 0-0 draw in the group stages at Wembley at Christmas. I think you can order that now, because obviously that was the greatest moment ever for Scottish football. But yeah, I mean, Scotland done well. They bored us. They got under our skin and they defended well. And England didn't have much going forward. But this, in the group stage part, at the time I was angry, but now, nothing really matters now. We're in the final. And then, fortunately, we didn't have a very good group. No offence to the teams, Croatia, Scotland, Czech. But, I thought they were all pretty subpar sides. England should have won the group easily, which obviously in the end they did. I mean, Czech Republic done well considering. We beat Czech Republic 1-0. I'll be honest, I can't really remember much of that game because that one bored me as well. But the group stages of England, yes, were very, very boring. I mean, but they got the job done, We got 7 points. We topped the group. What more do you want? It's tournament football, so we've done alright. And Czech Republic have got a few surprises in there. That striker, Patrick Schick, looks like a good player. He'll probably get a move. But England, in the group stages, were not exciting at all. They just got the job done, If anything, they were very German. Which obviously brings us on to the next game, the last 16, and we played Germany. Now, I don't think England have actually beaten Germany in a knockout game since '66. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think that's true. I don't think England has beaten Germany in a knockout game since we beat them in the final in '66. So, we're up against it. And, alright, I admit this German side is it's not as good as it always has been. They're in a bit of a rocky phase. But they're Germany, aren't they? They get the job done. England doesn't get the job done. So, the roles were reversed this time, though. The roles were reversed. How England beat Germany, it was such an amazingly well managed performance. And it was like a German performance, really. 2-0, 2 goals, well managed. I mean, Germany did have their chances. I did get worried when Muller was one-on-one and he put it wide because I thought that was a goal, and if he would have scored that goal, we may have had a different game, but he didn't, so who cares? But very, very good performance from England against Germany. That was one of the best performances we've seen from England in my lifetime in a knockout football because just a slight technical issue. Alright, we're back in business. What was I talking about? The Swedish. They're easy to talk about. But yeah, in the group stages, I thought the Swedish were good. So if we would have played the Swedish, maybe they might have beaten us because they had a good defence. They were well organised, but Sweden peaked too early, didn't they? They got the 7 points in the group stages. No one expected them to win that group. Everyone expected Spain to win the group. Sweden looked good. They got the points, and then for whatever reason, they went out to Ukraine. They made Ukraine look like, Brazil. Don't know how. And it was cruel how they went out at the last minute. Ooh, that was very cruel. Very, very cruel. But, and then we had Ukraine. So, Ukraine, I always thought they were quite good, but I looked at their team when we started. I think they've only got like 3 players in the Premier League and maybe another one in the Spanish League. So, I mean, they got that Zinchenko and the manager Shevchenko. So, we know Shevchenko. We always think, oh, but you think about it, Ukraine did amazing to get to the quarters. With all due respect, I can't remember what group they were in, but how are they getting through the group stage? So fair play to them. And the game against Ukraine was nice. I hope. I mean, we're not going to beat Italy tonight 4-0, obviously, but I do hope we have some elements of the Ukraine game in tonight. Harry Kane gets a goal in the first 5 minutes tonight. That would be beautiful. In the final, I mean, I don't care who scores. Hopefully, it's an own goal. It doesn't matter as long as that ball goes in that Italian net in the first 5 minutes. I mean, this is a bit ambitious, but an early goal for us just to settle the nerves because the Italians are amazing at defending. The longer it goes in where you don't put the ball in the goal, the more control they'll have in the game, And Mourinho seems to think he's some sort of genius for coming up with this strategy of parking the bus. Listen, this is not your strategy. This is the Italian strategy from the 70s. Or, sorry, not the 70s, the 80s of Italy. This is an Italian strategy. Just get one goal and then park the bus. And they've been brilliant at it. That's why they've had 4 World Cups. They're amazing at defending. They've got this excellent goalkeeper who's had a brilliant tournament. So we definitely don't want penalties because then we're screwed. But yeah, Italy defensively, I think England and Italy are, clearly, you can tell, are the best 2 defensive sides in the tournament. England have only conceded 1 goal from a set play, and Italy haven't conceded many either. So, these are not going to be a walkover. We're going to have to be a bit more conservative. So, what do you guys think? Well, anyway, Trick Boy, thanks for the follow. You obviously think it's coming home. Of course it's coming home. This is our chance. 55 years as an England fan. I've never ever had this level of optimism. Even, I mean, I love this side now. I think the side that we have now is very talented, but it's nowhere near the level of the side we had in, say, 2006, in 2010, or even 2014. Because we had some of the best players in the world back then. I mean, the only player that we have right now that is world class is Harry Kane. The rest of them are young, hungry, up and coming, and that's what we need. We need that. We don't need these, like Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard, them types of players that are already made. They don't care about England. I mean, I'm sure they do, but they didn't make it work. So Ukraine was an amazing opportunity for us to flex our muscles because when you got past Ukraine, you knew you were going to have, no offense to Denmark or Czech Republic, which was in the other quarter. No offense to them, but whoever was going to play them, it's a good opportunity to get to the final if you got Denmark or Czech Republic. There's never been a better opportunity to get to the final. Maybe perhaps last time in the 2018 World Cup, yeah, that was a good opportunity, but we fluffed our lines that time. But this is our time now. Gareth has got the team together. But yeah, I mean, we had Denmark or Czech. Um, so we brushed aside Ukraine. They just kept scoring headers all night, just all night, all night. 3 headers, and obviously the first goal was a beautiful through ball by Sterling for to put Kane in, and Ukraine stood no chance. You know, I mean, England were excellent that night. That we were very, very clinical, and that's all is what football really is. Really, is you've got to be clinical. You've got to get in front of the goal and put the ball in the goal, and that's what does worry me a little bit about Italy. If you see some of their goals, especially what's that player Chiesa on the right? He's a clinical finisher. Every time, all of his goals they're bang right in the corner. So it doesn't matter what goalkeeper you got in, he ain't saving it. So we can't give these Italians that many chances. He's very quick as well. So they've got a lot of options, Italy, and they do worry me. I'm not writing them off. They're very well organised. Obviously, their manager is a Premier League winner. He's a well-known manager, Roberto Mancini. He's no mug. These are no mugs. Compared to, no offence to Italy or any of Italians out there, but Italy have done nothing since 2012, right? But you can never write off the Italians in a tournament. They're just brilliant at tournament football. Brilliant. They know how to manage a game exceptionally well. So we have to match that, really. And then when we beat the Ukraine 4-0, which was a beautiful day, let's be honest. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful evening, Saturday night, 9 o'clock in Rome. All the England fans are there. It was beautiful. 4-0, semi-final place booked. And at the time, I know that a lot of us other English fans at the time were like, yeah, we'll beat Denmark, we'll get rid of them as well. But at the time, I was apprehensive, I mean, they're a good side, Denmark. We only just got past them. I thought throughout the whole 90 minutes of that game, I thought it was quite close. But you could tell by the end that, I don't know, we've just got a level of hunger at the moment that I've never seen England ever have. We've always had the talent, but we have a level of hunger and energy. We're a high energy team. We're not low energy Jeb anymore. We were always a low energy Jeb team. We're not now high energy. So we wanted it, and we were quite fortunate. I mean, I thought there's a lot of controversy about this penalty on Sterling. To me, it looked like he got hacked down. Stonewall penalty. Stonewall. But we did get lucky with when Kane took the penalty and it came straight back at him, so he could just put it in the net. We got lucky with that, and that goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, did save them a few times. He's an excellent goalkeeper. It's too bad. I mean, he could have picked England, but why would he pick England? Because obviously his old man's Peter in Manchester at the time. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a lot better goalie than Jordan Pickford. Kasper Schmeichel, I think he's an excellent goalkeeper. But Denmark was quite a cagey game. But we showed character in that game, We went down 1-0. I thought the goalie should have had that free kick. But at the time, live, I thought the free kick was amazing. I didn't really blame anyone. It was a good free kick. But we were 1-0 down and we got it to 1-1 at half time, and then we dug deep. We dug deep and we got the job done. Because obviously we didn't want it to go to penalties. We've got to get it done in extra time. Penalties for any normal team is maybe a 50-50 chance, but for England, I don't know why we just don't do penalties. So please, 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 guys, please not any penalties tonight, unless you win them. If you win the penalties, fair enough, but just don't put me through it. So just get it done in extra time. It'll be way easier. Um, so yeah, the Denmark game was obviously our hardest game. It's a semi-final. Expect it to be harder as it goes on, of course. But it was a difficult game, a very difficult game. And on another day, Denmark would have got through. I don't think there was a big difference between England and Denmark. There wasn't a major gulf in quality. But who cares? We're through now, you know? So 55 years we've been waiting for a final. Now we have it, and we've got it against Italy. And I don't know about the rest of you. Any of you that are not English or Italian, I think you'll all agree that I think this is the final. I think this is a good final. These two are the best two teams that have played in this final. So it's going to be an excellent final. It probably won't be an excellent final football-wise. It'll be very cagey and very tactical, but let's say if England did lose. Let's just be honest. Let's say if England lost against Denmark. Imagine watching Italy-Denmark. I wouldn't even watch it out of principle, obviously. But I'm glad they got rid of that third, fourth place playoff, because I was never going to watch that anyway. But yeah. The final is a premium final, you know. You want to see premium finals. You want to see the big countries in finals, you know. A big fixture. You don't want, like the last one not the last one in 2004, Greece. It's fun for a small team to get through to like the last 16 or the quarters, but you don't want them to win it. Come on. You want to see the best teams in the final, and you want it to be a showcase. So now I was thinking this tournament. I think this tournament's been amazing. Obviously we're all in the same boat here. We're all sick of this COVID and all this nonsense to do with it. So this tournament has been really fun. It's been really fun. It's been way better than the Premier League, because a lot of these games have had, they've had full stadiums, and if they're not full, at least they've had part stadiums. Okay. So the part stadiums. I've not watched much football when it's not full, because you can't get behind it, But when it's full, you get the passion, and we've had that passion back from this Euros, When the fans are there, it's been intense, it's been really interesting. But when you're watching a Premier League game, for example, this season, if nobody's there at the stadium, it just lacks the intensity. So this tournament, I think, has been amazing under the circumstances for all of us. Obviously for us English even more, and for the Italians because we're in the final. But I think it's been a great tournament. Obviously, you'll all say that I would say that because we're in the final. But I think on the whole, I think entertaining-wise, I think it's been absolutely amazing. So, player of the tournament, to be fair, the problem is with saying who do I think would be player of the tournament. It's whoever wins tonight, right? But I think two players should get it. So if Italy win the competition, I think it should be Jorginho. And if England win the competition, I think it should be Raheem Sterling. Unless Harry Kane does something, let's say we're 2-0 down to Italy and Harry Kane gets a hat-trick today, so we win the final. So then it should be Harry Kane, because obviously the finals, if you're doing that, you deserve to win player of the tournament. But on the whole, I think Raheem Sterling has been excellent for England. When he hasn't scored, he's scored a lot of goals. He's always been part of the play, and he plays like he plays for Man City. He plays with high energy, he's direct, he wants the ball, he wants to move forward. Whereas, England before, they always pass it backwards, slowly. Boring football, but now it's different. It's all totally different. The goal of the tournament, now, The goal of the tournament has to be Patrick Schick's against Scotland, right? I mean, how many goals do you see from a halfway line? The vision, and it's not just the vision to see it, because a lot of players couldn't pull that off. It's the vision and the execution. You know, it's an absolutely beautiful goal. I think he'll get a move, that Patrick Patrick Schick. I think he'll get a move. To be fair, probably to the Premier League, a big money move after this tournament, because you can tell he's good in front of goal. He's a good clinical player. So I think he'll get the goal of the tournament. Another thing I was thinking of is the moment of the tournament. Now, for me, the best moment will always be the full-time whistle in the semi-final when England beat Denmark. Because when we scored the goal, we still had quite a while left to defend. And, you know, as others that are England fans, you know what that's like. You know, that's the bit where we might mess it up and go to penalties or whatever. But when he blew that final whistle against Denmark, because, you know, I'm not, obviously wasn't alive in 1966, obviously. Um, I've never seen England in a final, but we should have been in a final. We should have went to the World Cup final last time, let's be honest. How did Croatia put us out? Don't know what we're doing. But who cares? We're in the final this time. We're building on it. So it's the moment of the tournament for me would be getting past Denmark, but that's because I'm an England fan, of course. But there's been a lot of good moments within the tournament. I think when Switzerland put out France, that was amazing. I was watching that with my friends down at our local, and when it was 1-0, wasn't it, to Switzerland, and then they missed a penalty at 2-0, and then France made it 3-1, and they mustn't have, even the Swiss people must have thought, there's no way of coming back from this, and then they made it 3-all, and then they won on penalties. I think that was one of the best games of the tournament. That was one of the best days, because that Croatia-Spain game was amazing as well. It was 5-3. That was definitely one of the best days of football in a long time. I really, really did enjoy that one. So I was also thinking of the surprise team of the tournament. You know, someone that's done way. You know, they've punched way. They've done well. They've done really well for themselves. They've done no offense, but a smaller side that shouldn't get to there. So I would have to pick two. I thought Ukraine done very well to get to the quarters, and then obviously we beat them and sent them home. Uh, but I would have to say Denmark, especially how everything started. You know, I mean, hopefully Christian Eriksen is still fine. What a man. But Denmark done amazing under their circumstances. I don't think anyone would have ever said they would have came to the semi-final. Um, so let me read some of the chat then. What are you guys saying? It's coming home. Of course, it's coming home. What about Foden? Will he do it today? I heard that he's might be injured. He's went for that Gaza haircut, but he's not done quite the same as Gaza, right? But I think he's an excellent player. I think Foden's probably top 3 young players in the world. And he will be an amazing England player within the future, but he's still so young. Um, I prefer other players to him in that position. I do prefer Sancho and Saka. I think they've performed better in that position. I do think he's a great player. But someone said he's touch and go for the final. But his options, you know, it's an option that we have. Is Phil Foden, one of the best young players in the world. What are we saying here? Jack Harrison going to Leeds. What do you think about him as a footballer? Yeah, he's a great footballer, Jack Harrison. He just went from Man City, right? I don't think he ever played for Man City, but I think he was over in America. That's how he started. But yeah, Jack Harrison's a good player, and Leeds have just bought him, I think, for like 15 million or something. I think he's good, and Leeds seems to be a good club to be at the moment. That manager they've got he's got a great vision. They've got a good footballing ideology, and I mean, with all due respect, before the Premier League this season, I'd never heard of Calvin Phillips, but he seems like a very good player. He's good on the ball, he's clever, he knows what he's doing. So, you know, Jack Harrison, is a good player. And he's still young, so we'll see him. I'm sure he'll definitely be capped by England. Um, so, hi, greetings from Italy. Yes, hello to you too. I think Italy, England. As I don't know if you heard the stream earlier, this is the perfect final for the Euros. There's no other team that deserves to be in the final except England and Italy. They're the best two teams by a mile. I mean, before it all started, we all thought France were going to win because, let's be honest, France have still got the best team anyway. I'd say players wise, they've still got the best squad. They're better than England. They're better than Italy. But Switzerland done us a job, didn't they? Cheers, Switzerland. So we didn't have to play France in the final because they would have battered us probably. But now I don't know. So let me get on to the. What did you say? I just hope it doesn't go to extra time. Well, as long as I mean, I don't mind if it goes to extra time because we got the job done last time against Denmark. Just not penalties. You'll beat us on penalties. I mean, I don't know if you're Italian, but you remember when Giorgio Chiellini was there with Jordi Alba in the Italy-Spain game? I mean, how he was just dealing with it before, it's as if Italy had already won. He was that confident. And Italy, what was the score? Was it 5-4? I mean, Italy scored. Oh no, they missed the first one, didn't they? I can't even remember. But Italy were just very, very good at penalties, and I don't want to play Italy at penalties. And the goalkeeper is one of the best saving penalties goal. If you look at his stats, he saves a lot of penalties for a goalkeeper, which, with all due respect, as a goalkeeper, you shouldn't even have a chance to save penalties because it's up to the attacking player to put the ball in the goal. But if you Okay, top man. So we don't want. I mean, obviously, we'd love a nice game where we play against Ukraine 4-0 against Italy. But I'm a realist. I'm a realist. That's not going to happen against Italy. We want a boring game. We want a boring game, and we win 1-0, 90 minutes. Just get the job done. We don't want uh, entertainment. I'm sure the neutral will. I'm sure that the neutral will. So, I mean, I'm still pretty nervous about the game now. I think we're going to. It depends. Let's go on to the team. Let me pick the team. What I think Gareth Southgate is going to pick. So what I think Gareth Southgate. I think Gareth is going to go 3-5-2. Just because he's clever and it's Italy. They're good on the attack and they need to be held. We're not going to play the same formation as we were playing against Denmark and Ukraine. I think we're going to revert back to the three at the back. And I think Gareth is going to go Pickford in goal, and I think Trippier is going to come back in, which I like Trippier. I mean, obviously, any of you other English fans that watch Premier League, we don't really watch La Liga, but he must be very good because he's won the league for Atletico, and he plays every game. But you can tell he's very good because when I watched him before when he was playing, he's got his corners and his delivery every time is dangerous. So in a final, I wouldn't mind if he plays because if he's taking that's where you score goals from corners. Corners are such underrated things in football, but that's how you score goals in finals from corners because you get a free cross into the 18-yard box and look at the players that we've got that can head the ball. We've got Kane, we've got Maguire, we've got John Stones. You know, we've got some good players in there that will win with a good delivery from Kieran Trippier. They're going to cause trouble for Italy. Um, so yeah, I think Trippier's what I think Gareth Southgate is going to go for is Trippier, Walker, Stones, Maguire, and then at Shaw picks himself at left back. Obviously at the start of the tournament, Trippier was playing left back. And everyone thought Chilwell was going to play, but Shaw is really came into his own. He's been brilliant. He's got like one of the assists leaders. He's been every time, another time. He's always getting the ball into the box. He's always looking to get it forward. He's got good delivery. So if we have uh, a right back and a left back um, whipping in the ball to Harry Kane up front, we've got a chance to always score. We've always got a chance to get a goal. So I think that should be the back five. Um, so I think we'll keep the midfield the same. We'll keep. This is what I think Gareth Southgate's going to select. I'll tell you my team afterwards. So in the midfield, we'll have three. We'll have Phillips, Declan Rice, and Mason Mount because they've worked so well together. Why change anything? Obviously, people will say put Henderson in or whatever, but why? These guys have got us to the final. Of course, they have to play. Mason Mount hasn't been as good for England, but he's doing well. Like people might think, oh, Grealish or whatever, but I think Grealish is really good to come off the bench. He's a good impact player for us because he's really good when the other players are tired as well because he's always drawing fouls, and especially if players are on yellow cards and he's drawing fouls, I mean, I hate to sound so cynical or whatever, but it's good for England if he can draw a foul and it's a second yellow and it's a red card. And then we'll just play Kane and Sterling up front. Them two pick themselves at the moment. I think that's what Gareth will go for, personally. And I sort of do agree with him. But I mean, if I had to pick my team, I would go a bit more attacking, but at the same time, I think we should play three at the back. We play the wing-back system and contain Italy and dictate the game in the middle of the park. But if not, we'd play 4-2-3-1 like we've been playing, and play. There's no Trippier this time. This would be my team. Pickford has to stay in goal because he's not really done anything wrong. Walker at right back, Maguire at centre back, Stones at centre back, Shaw at left back, Rice and Phillips in the middle of the park, Sancho on the right, Mount in the free role behind, Sterling on the left, and Kane at front. That would be a more attacking system that we could do today. But I do think Gareth is going to go for three at the back, and who am I to disagree with the manager? The manager at the moment, he's obviously he's understands what needs to be done. He's made some really good decisions in this tournament. He's made key decisions. I mean, say against Denmark, he brought on Grealish. And then brought him off because Grealish came on to get his goal, and then we were 2-1 up. And he brought him off for something more defensive, which, that's what needs to be done to manage a game. So what are we saying here? Will England be crowned at Wembley? Well, that's a good question because I was speaking about this to my friends earlier. I think it'll be Prince William that's going to give out the trophy. And imagine if Italy do win. Hopefully Prince William does us a favour and just he's got to mug them off in some way. But imagine if we win. I mean, if we win today, England's not going to function for summer. It's not going to be able to function. Like tomorrow, any bosses that think people are turning up to work, that's not happening. Like, even if you don't like football, like we've been waiting 55 years for this. And alright, it's not the World Cup, but it's the same thing, right? In the World Cup, you've only got to beat Brazil and Argentina. The rest of the teams, the great teams that you have to beat are all in Europe. No offence to the rest of the world. But, if you're going to win the Euros, it's a hard feat to win the Euros. You've got to get past some good sides there. Like England have got past Germany. So, it's... Who's saying that? On paper, England is better. Yes. I think on paper, England are better. But Italy are unknown. That's the thing. Italy are unknown. Some of their players, like Barello, the centre mid, is a good player. That Chiesa, I mean, I know they play for good sides in Italy, but because Italian sides don't get to latter stages in the Champions League, we don't really know much about them. I mean, the same could be said about Jadon Sancho, because everyone was always saying, "Oh, play Jadon Sancho." It's like I've never seen him play, and they're like, all your friends are like, "Yeah, he's amazing," because they play him on FIFA or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, so well, when do you watch Dortmund play? And apparently they always do, obviously. But yeah, I mean, he looks a good player, Sancho. But there's a lot of Italian players that are relatively unknown, which I think is a strength for Italy. Um, they got who else they got? Their midfielders Verratti and Jorginho, who are obviously two well-known players. PSG, Chelsea, just won the Champions League with Chelsea. Jorginho is on the verge of having an amazing season. I mean, imagine if he wins today, he's going to win the Champions League and the Euros. Wow. But let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope Mason Mount gets that accolade instead. Mason Mount could have won the Champions League and the Euros. Let's hope for that one, yeah. Not Jorginho, Mason Mount. But they got a good midfield. They got that Barolo, and then they've also got this Locatelli that's meant to be a very good player. But they're Italian. They always produce good. What's the word? Disciplined players. Like it's the tactical nous of Italy that's gonna bother England, not the individual brilliance of players. Obviously, beforehand, this is talking a few years back, they did have some individually brilliant players like Del Piero or even Mario Balotelli on his day. He was excellent. Remember him in 2012 Euros? He was amazing. But yeah, England are definitely better on paper, yes. But France are the best on paper, and look where they are. So I don't know, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a cagey game. I think it's going to be as long as it stays close, it's going to be quite a dirty game as well. It's going to be a clever game. But both teams, I think, have mutual respect for one another. Both teams deserve to be in the final. I don't think either side doesn't deserve to be there. They're the best two teams in the tournament are in the final. So I think it's what we deserved, especially in the middle of this pandemic, which we're all sick of. I think it's what we deserve. A good final. And I think let me think. What do I think the prediction will be? Let's do that. The prediction of this game, I think this is going to be 2-1 to England. And I think it will be an extra time. I think it'll be similar to the Denmark game. I can see Italy going 1-0 up. I can see that happening. And then we build it back. We build back better. We make it 1-1. Sterling or Kane, I think, maybe Harry Kane. And then one of our guys gets a header in, One of our guys gets a header in. And then we make it 2-1. And then we just close the game out because we don't want penalties. I just hope it doesn't go to penalties. But I think it'll be 2-1 extra time. If I had to think or bet in 90 minutes, I would think if England win, I think it'll be 1-0. If England win in 90 minutes, it'll be 1-0. That'll be it. Because our defence is amazing. Unless you're going to score an amazing free kick like Denmark did, how are you getting the ball in the goal? So I think it's going to be, if it's 90 minutes, it'll be 1-0 England. If not, it'll be 2-1 England in extra time. Penalties, I may as well toss a coin, Well, I say that, but Italy will win at penalties, let's be honest. I'm not that delusional. So, I mean, if England win tonight, it's the other thing I didn't even mention is I don't even know what it's like with the fans at Wembley. I'm not sure. I think it's like 2/3 full. But I assume most of them are England fans. Because Italy fans can't go there, can they? I don't know how it works. But we should have loads of support. It's nice how we've got the semis. We've played every single game at Wembley except the one in Rome where we battered Ukraine 4-0. So it's been perfect for England. It's been absolutely perfect. We've got the final at Wembley with all our fans because no one else is allowed to go there. So it's perfect. What more of an opportunity do we got here to win a major tournament? What do you think? So what are we saying here? Trippier is good in the defence. Yeah, he's also a good defender as well, but I also like him going forward. He's got an amazing delivery on him. You know, every time you got a corner or a set piece, the goalkeeper's worried because he's always putting it on the point. And he must be good to get in that Atletico side. Must be really good to get in that team. But obviously, it's always strange. What we saying here? Gareth Southgate said England versus Italy in Euro 2020 is a matchup of a tournament, two best teams. Yeah, exactly. I agree with him. It's the two best teams. Like, there's no other argument you can make here. Who's the third best team? It's probably Denmark, I'd say. The third best team is Denmark. But England and Italy are the best two teams in this tournament by a long way. And I think this is the tournament we've all deserved. And hopefully it'll be a great game. Hopefully it'll be a great game. But let's be honest, it's not going to be a great game because Italy are playing. And they know how to manage games properly. They're not a bunch of amateurs. So I can't see many goals. But hopefully we'll get one more than them. You know? So what are we saying here? Both teams gonna play safe, and most probably it will be penalties. Well, let's hope not. All right, let's hope not. It'll be penalties, because if it's penalties, Italy have got it in the bag. 70% chance Italy bag, I would say. But no, I don't think England have played it safe all day, all tournament, not all day. We've not played it safe all tournament. I think we'll attack like we've been attacking. As I say, if Trippier plays, I would like Trippier to play, especially against this Italian side, because they're gonna stop everything coming through the middle. So we're gonna have to go the wings. And if we've got Trippier and Shaw crossing in good balls to Harry Kane, we got opportunities. He's clinical. You know, if they can put the ball on the money to Harry Kane's goal, you know. So I hope that we do in some way play 3-5-2, because Italy is just going to shut the game down through the centre. So we're going to have to go through the wings. And Trippier and Shaw, especially Shaw is on red hot form. Both of them can put in great crosses, and we've got one of the best strikers in the world to put his head on the ball. Alright guys, anyway, well, thanks for watching the first James Rich show. We'll be back for more football content. More football analysis, football transfers, anything football we'll be back for. We love football here, but let's be honest, let's hope that we'll be back tomorrow and we'll be saying it's coming home.